Hey, what's going on, PV High School? Great to be with you guys today for our daily Devo. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. The weekend is almost here, and that's always good, even though it doesn't really mean anything special these days. It's still good to be the weekend, right? So, got a quick Devo for us today, but man, it's good. Super timely for me, I know, something that I struggle with. But if you've been following along, you know that we've kind of been going through the Lord's Prayer, line by line, verse by verse, which has been really cool and really beneficial. It has for me at least. And so today is May 8th. Is that right? Yeah, today is May 8th. And by the way, weather report today, high of 58. It's going to get cold tonight, so if you have any flowers out, you might want to cover them tonight because there's potential for frost. Anyways, I do the daily weather report every day. But today is May 8th, and we're talking about the line of in the Lord's Prayer that says, "Give us this day our daily bread." And really what I think the takeaway from this line is, according to this devotional, and I 100% agree, is that so often it's quick for us to go from within ourselves for our sustainment, and we want to be self-sufficient, and that's I think a really big value of the day. Just meaning our time that we live in is self-sufficiency. It's kind of frowned upon to be dependent on anyone or anything, when in fact we know that our relationship with the Lord is full dependency on Him and on His grace and on His goodness to meet our needs. And it's good. We want to be responsible people and live with personal responsibility, but ultimately in the scheme of eternity, we are fully dependent on Him. And the devotional points out that a great passage to reflect on for this is Deuteronomy chapter 8, and it goes through a bunch of how the people of Israel, they got in this pattern of depending on themselves, depending on the human and earthly leaders that they had rather than depending on God. And we do the same thing. I know for me that especially when I think about my mental health, that's where I think about this the most for me. And there's a lot of things just that I look for kind of worldly external sources of respite and of retreat from the world. You guys know that I'm super into fishing and outdoor sports, and sometimes I know that what can happen is that I can look to those things to carry me through, and I can look to those things to supply what I need emotionally. And we know that those types of things, not just those things, but hobbies in general and just pursuits of the world, not that those things are bad, but they just can't sustain us. They can't be our daily bread, as Jesus talks about here in Matthew chapter 6. And so for me, I know I've been convicted that I can lean on those things way too much, rather than looking for a daily source of life from the only one who can give it to us, which is obviously the Father. I'm going to read this last couple sentences, and we'll be done because I'm trying to be quicker. It says, "Independency is a delusion. Even the most ardent atheist is dependent on God for his life and breath. No one is able to get what he needs for his physical existence on his own. No one lives a self-sufficient life. No one can say, 'Look how successfully I have been able to care for me without any outside assistance.' No one. It is really true that every good and every perfect gift is from above." So I think that's a great point, that all of us, whether we realize it or not, are fully sufficient or not. We're fully dependent on the Father. We are not self-sufficient, and that's humbling for me today. And it draws me to want to draw closer. It compels me to want to draw closer to the Lord rather than trying to figure this thing out on my own. So, hey, hope you guys are having a great day today. It's Mother's Day this weekend. If you haven't yet, make sure you get your mom something for Mother's Day, or at least make her something, or make her a meal or something. We'll figure it out. But love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you at PV services on Sunday. Peace.